Hey guys, Emily Williams here. I'm coming to you live from Paris today, so it might look a little bit different here. I just wanted to hop on to do today's Real Truth with Love, all about branding. So I'm just going to give it 1 second and make sure you can hear me. We're in the hotel, so I'm hoping the Wi-Fi is perfect and then I'm able to share all this incredible content with you. So I'll just wait for my team to let me know because I know there's a little bit of a delay, and then we will dive right in. So I hope everyone's having an awesome day today. So let's see. Who is on live? No one yet. Okay, perfect. I am live. Amazing. Hello, Rachel. So yeah, I'd love to see when you hop on, let me know where you're tuning in from, if you're watching live or watching the replay. As I said, I'm not in London today, but in Paris. We came here to visit some of our friends who are actually traveling the world as we speak. And they are spending a month in Paris and then another few months in Italy where we're actually meeting them again. So it's so amazing to be able to see them in person and also get a taste for their life and what it's like to live in that way. I think it's a good reminder that anything is possible. So I just wanted to hop on today to share all the information that I've put together all about branding and stories and your website. But before we get into that, hey everyone, love seeing all of you here. Keep saying hi, love it. But I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story myself. So today we went to the Ritz hotel and had lunch, and I wanted to tell you a little bit why that's so important to me. So a few years back, James and I came to Paris together on my birthday when we were first dating, and we went into the Ritz hotel, and we didn't have the money to stay there at the time, and we had never been there. And so we went in and just went into the lobby and quickly snuck a peek at the bathrooms, and we loved it. It was so beautiful. And we just dreamt of the time that we could come and actually stay there. And now we've hosted events there. We stay there. It's somewhere we've visited multiple times, and it's absolutely amazing to be back, to think about that period of time just a few years ago when we went into the hotel and all we could afford to do was have a glass of water and sneak into the bathroom and then leave. And again, I just want to talk about possibility before we dive into branding, because branding's great, strategy's great, but you have to believe that what you desire is possible, and you have to believe that it's valid and that it's meant for you. That's really the first step to being successful. It's great to have a professional photo shoot. We're going to talk about that as well today, where it's great to pick an amazing brand name. But really it comes down to that belief and that, desire that you see for yourself with your business, and continuing to stay true to what that is and believing that it's possible, even if people tell you it's crazy, even if it feels like it's light years away from your current reality. Just trust that it can happen for you. So again, I tell you that story just to show you what's possible, not to brag, but to just let you know, again, I am just that normal girl from Ohio. Sitting in Paris, it's something that we are able to do often now, but that wasn't always my reality. And so I want you to understand that your current reality, it's no indication of what's possible for you or what's meant for you. Right now, it is what it is. But things can change so quickly. You just have to keep moving forward, put yourself out there, and trust the process, and trust that every step you take will lead you to where you want to go. It may not seem like it every day, but again, really believe in yourself and learn that whatever you want for your life and for your business, it's possible for you. Cool. Okay, so another funny branding story about Paris for you before we dive into the 7 things I want to share with you today. So I'm just going to share my screen really quick. Hopefully you'll be able to see it here. Let me pull up this picture. So when I had my first photo shoot in Paris a few years ago, I used this photo here as a Facebook ad. And I remember the day that someone wrote underneath it, "This is the worst Photoshop job I've ever seen." And I literally was right there. I was in front of the Eiffel Tower. It's not Photoshopped. And I didn't take it personally. I thought it was really funny, actually, that we took the time to do that Photoshop job. But I just want to share this again, just to let you know that things will happen in your business where people might not understand the brand. brand. They might not understand what you're trying to achieve. They might not understand you. They might not resonate with your story. But really start to believe that whatever you want to share with the world, that's really up to you. You get to decide. And there will be people who resonate with you and there will be people who don't, but it doesn't matter. The right people will find you and they will hear your message. They will buy from you. They will love the work that you do. And you only need a few amount of people to love your work and to become clients to begin to make a dent and to be successful. On one of the recent Facebook Lives, I shared with you that in order to hit our 7-figure business, we worked with about 500 people in the span of a year. And that's not selling them big coaching packages necessarily. That's also the smaller courses. And if you think about something like a 6-figure business, yesterday in the webinar I did, which was called How to Replace Your 9-to-5 Income with Coaching, I talked all about how you actually only need about 40 people to buy a $1,500 package. And that would equal a $60K year in coaching. Now, say you want to charge much more than that, right? So it'll be less people if you want to hit that 60K. If you want to double the 60K, try and hit about 30 to 50 people, right, in your business. And so not everyone has to resonate with your message and your brand. I think people think that there's something wrong if not everyone gets it, but you actually want your brand to be somewhat polarizing because you want to attract the right people and kind of repel the wrong people. We don't want everyone clicking on your Facebook ad because then you're paying for that. So you attract the right people and repel the wrong people. And so you want to make sure that your brand is really specific. We talked about that on the training yesterday as well. If you haven't caught the replay, it's still available on my Facebook page, so you can check it out until Monday. But we talked about how important choosing your niche actually is because you want to know who you're marketing to. You want to pick a group and be able to speak to them directly versus speaking to everyone in the world because people want to be able to know exactly what you do and put you into a bit of a category in a good way. Cool. So I just wanted to point that out and share that funny story. It's always fun to think about that one. So cool. Let me get some of my notes up here. I have 7 things I want to share with you today. And then I also asked some of my personal clients to share their questions about branding. So I'm going to answer those. And if you have any questions, I'd love for you to type them in the comment section below this video. And if we have time, we'll also answer them live. And if not, we'll go back through, my team and I, and answer them in the comments. So let me know your top questions about branding and stories and website. Anything that falls under those categories, you can comment below. So here's what I want to share about brands. So I talked about this just a little bit so far, but you want to make sure that you attract your ideal client with your brand. So for me, that picture I just showed you, and if you're just hopping on and missed it, it's basically a picture of me in front of the Eiffel Tower. That was really important to me because I knew that I personally love to travel. I love luxury. I love this idea of Paris. It's been on my list, for many years before I came here. And now it's a special place in my heart because James and I came here at the beginning of our relationship. And I knew that, that was something I wanted to represent in my brand. But I also knew that my client would love it because the clients I love to work with, they want to create a life that they love. They want to be able to travel. They want to see what's possible for them. So you have to think about it in both ways. So what is the brand that represents you? But then also what would really attract your ideal client? And you want to tell a story as well. So I think that oftentimes when it comes to photos, people, they don't remember to tell the story. And this is something I learned from one of the photographers I've worked with, Wendy Yalom, and she always makes it a point to tell the story. So if you're showing a picture on your website of you with a laptop and a glass of wine and a baby over there and then a book in your hand and your other hand, what story is that actually telling us? Maybe it resonates with you. I don't know. But think about when you're looking at your pictures, what are you telling your audience with that story? And is it even conveying a story? I recently saw a picture of someone where they were sitting down on the sidewalk and there was like a bush coming over their head, all these leaves around them, and that was it. And I was like, that's such a beautiful picture. And what is the story? It doesn't tell us anything about this person and what they do. It doesn't really connect with us in any emotional way. It's just a beautiful picture. So think about what will attract your ideal clients. That's step 1 when it comes to your brand. So let me know as you're going through this training if anything resonates with you, if there's any ahas. I'd love to read those as well. So number 2, what's going to set you apart from the crowd? So in the beginning of building your business, especially as a coach, you might be looking at all the different coaches out there and paying attention to what they're doing and what's working. And that's really smart that you're doing that. And at the same time, you want to make sure to sprinkle little bits of you throughout your brand. That's the way I like to think about it. Think about sprinkling those sprinkles all over your brand. So maybe that's something in your copy that's uniquely you. For me, I always say the word lovely in my copy. I also have a few key phrases that I developed over time. For example, I always say, I'm just a girl from Ohio with really big dreams. I also have a phrase I love to use. You can either be scared or rich. And so you will develop those nuances and those brand sayings as you move forward through your business. So I didn't have all of that right in the beginning. I really want you to understand that as well. Some of that just came out of my mouth naturally at one point and it stuck. And so as you move forward in your business, you start to see what really resonates with your ideal client. And, what stories do they remember? We're going to talk about stories in just a second. What is it that stands out in people's mind that you want to make your own? And this could also be like a signature color. Again, that was something that was a total fluke in our company. I found a bright pink shirt before my first photo shoot, and that became the brand color. So it really could be anything. It could be, obviously you have a signature program. Maybe it's a certain tone in your voice when you're writing your copy. Maybe it's the website itself. That branding really stands out. Maybe it's you're very unique in what you look like. Maybe you're a punk rocker, whatever it may be. Maybe you love pink like me. You love Kate Spade. That's definitely become a part of my brand. So much so that when the tragedy happened last week, with Kate Spade, taking her own life, a lot of people reached out to me and asked me how I was doing. And that really surprised me, but it's because I've created a brand that is associated with Kate Spade. I've hosted events with them and the colors are so, similar, and it's been such an inspiration in my own brand that people now, they look at I Heart My Life and they think Kate Spade, right? And vice versa. So, you want to start to create that image that really resonates with you, but also is different and stands out to people in some unique way. But please, please, please do not put tons of pressure on yourself this second to get it perfect. Again, this develops over time, but just as you're planning out your photography, as you're writing your copy, just think to yourself, how can I sprinkle a little bit more of me? So section 3 here, step 3. Communicate your unique message, purpose, and mission that will develop over time. So for me, when I started I Heart My Life, I've shared this a bit this week already, so I won't go too deep into it, but I started I Heart My Life as a life coaching company. So I wanted to help other women create a life that they loved. I wanted to help them get out of their quarter life crisis and really do something big and get clarity around their purpose. And it really has morphed into what I believe to be a movement around, loving your life, loving yourself, loving what you do, creating wealth, creating that dream, that better than your dream, life that you've been wanting and that you've been, I felt like for a long time that my life was, I was waiting for it to start. And so a lot of women I work with feel the same way, and they know they're meant for something big, and they want to make it happen, right? And so that's what the I Heart My Life movement is all about. And people really want to be associated with a purpose. So just like something like Tom's, that amazing shoe company, where every pair of shoes that is purchased, they make a donation of another pair of shoes to people in need. People really love that. They want to be associated with something that matters. And so think about your purpose. Why are you becoming a coach? Why are you doing this? Why are you starting your business? What does it mean to you? And how can you share that with others in a way that really connects them to your mission? And if you don't know the big overall mission yet, that's okay too. Like I said, all this will develop over time, but you want to start to think about that. Why does the work that you do matters? And don't tell me that it doesn't matter, because it does. I promise. So number 4 is to be consistent across social media. I'm going through these kind of quickly because I want to get to the questions and answer any questions you have as well. So make sure that you're typing them in as we go along here. So be consistent. What that means is if you have a certain color or colors, or if you use certain fonts or images or type of images, or you have certain messages across your brand, make sure it's not only on your website, but it's also in your emails, your newsletters, your Facebook, social media, everything that you're putting out there, it should be cohesive. It should look alike. We shouldn't go to your website and then click on your Facebook page and see that there's absolutely nothing consistent about the brand. Because for clients, a confused mind always says no. So I want you to remember that. A confused mind always says no. So you want to make sure that you are being consistent with that client so they see a lot of consistency throughout the brand and they aren't confused and they understand what it is that you do, what you're all about, and again, they're able to recognize that certain pages or websites or programs or whatever are associated with you. So I hope all this is making sense, guys. If you have any comments, feel free to type them in here. Hey, LaDawn. She loves Paris. Amazing. Hey, Nadia. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Alicia. I hope I'm saying your name right. It might be Alicia. I saw you on the other trainings. So let's go to number 5. Okay, share your story every chance you get. So this might sound a bit redundant or repetitive. To share your story every chance you get might sound a bit self-indulgent. But what I mean by that is people need to hear your story over and over again because it reminds them what's possible and it helps them connect to you. So again, there are a lot of coaches out there. I'm not saying that there's a shortage of clients for you, but I am saying that you want to stand out from the crowd. And the thing that is uniquely yours that no one else has is your story. So use it to your advantage. And yesterday on the webinar that I did, again, if you're just jumping on, you can check out the replay on the Facebook page here below. It's called How to Replace Your 9-to-5 Income with Coaching. One of the ladies hopped on and she shared really openly that she doesn't feel like she has enough content in her story to be valuable. And I really, really, really want, if anyone resonates with that statement, please do not entertain that for a second longer because everyone's story is good enough. Everyone's story is incredible. You are where you are today because of your story. And I want you to share it with the world. And I want you to remember that it will connect with other people when you put it out there. And something I said on the webinar yesterday was that you are special, of course, but you are not that special. And what I mean by that is your story is not that unique in that no one will get it. Complete opposite is true. They will get it. Whatever is personal is universal. So if you are okay being more vulnerable in your newsletters, sharing more on Facebook Live, amp it up a notch. Amp up the vulnerability. Tell us, let us in. One of the amazing speakers I saw, his name was Ryan Lee. He also has an incredible company. He was talking about how you need to think about your own story and your brand in a way that's like a TV show. So think about the character development of you. People want to follow along for the journey. They want to know what's going on in your life. They want to see the behind the scenes, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it may be, in your newsletters, in your sales emails, in all of your marketing. They want to know. They want to be let in. And again, that helps them connect with you and see why you are different and also see what's possible. So I hope that makes sense. Cool. We have some questions here. Louis says, bonjour. Bonjour. Love it. Is iHeart Coaching just for coaches? Could it work for someone like me? I'm a marketing consultant looking to build my business online. Yes, it definitely could work for you. I'd love for you to write in to my team and get some support around this question. I'm totally happy to answer it now as well. But if you want to go any deeper in terms of what your goals are and you want to get some more information about the program, you can email us at info@iheartmylife.com. And I'm going to talk more about iHeart Coaching in just a second. But the short answer is definitely yes. It's a business building program for service-based entrepreneurs. Now, there are coaching trainings in the program, coaching techniques, how to become a more masterful coach. And you can use that as a consultant as well. So it's just a different word, consultant. So consultant, coach, mentor, teacher, all of those people fall under the umbrella of who iHeart Coaching will support. So I hope that makes sense. Again, we'd love to chat with you more if you have any other questions. So where am I? So I did number 5. So share your story every chance you get and be vulnerable. And people need to hear your story time and time again because they will forget. It's like something I shared. When did I share this? Gosh, it was years ago now. So when I was first starting my business, I joined a group program very much like iHeart Coaching. It was pricey for me at the time. I had to put it on James's credit card because I didn't have the money. And soon into the program, I found out that I didn't find out just then, I already knew, but I told my coach at the time that I wasn't going to be able to make the event that they were having in Australia. And now, mind you, that event was still about 6 months away from the time when I told her I wasn't going to be able to come. And she said to me, just wait. You don't need to decide that now. So much can happen in 6 months. Give yourself a second and a chance to make things happen. And if it's meant for you, if it's something you want, make it non-negotiable and make it happen. So I did. So 6 months later, I ended up going to Sydney. I also went to Bali because I invested in another program after that. But when I arrived in Sydney from London, I had just flown, around the world, spent a lot of money to get there, was going to be staying in this hotel for about a week and a half, this beautiful 5-star hotel. And I got upstairs and was so tired, yet all I wanted was a little bar of chocolate. So I opened up the little mini fridge in the room, in the hotel room, and I saw the chocolate there. And then I saw the price tag. It was like $7 or something. And I froze. I was like, oh my gosh, how in the world can I eat this $7 bar of chocolate? And I started to get in my head about it. And this is where the money mindset work kicks in. So this is one of my specialties, but sometimes it's harder to do on yourself. But I started to think to myself, you know what? I just flew around the world. I want this bar of chocolate. I'm going to have it. I'm going to give myself permission. And I started to think, they put these mini bars in the hotel room for a reason. There must be someone who eats this stuff. There must be someone who is okay with paying the $7 and can afford to pay that for that bar of chocolate. Otherwise, they would never keep those in the room. And I share that story again because it's one that most people love. You may resonate with it, but you may not. But I've shared it so many times, yet I still have people say to me, oh, I remember the chocolate story, or, you should tell the chocolate story. And it's something that really stands out in their minds. And that's how we connect. That's how you will be remembered. Share your stories. Be vulnerable. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. To be perfectly honest, I just thought it was a funny story, and it illustrated the example of shifting your mindset in the moment. And so I told it, and it's something that people have remembered. There's lots of other stories I'm sure that I've shared that maybe but I'm trying to illustrate the point here that you have an amazing story, regardless of where you are in your business. I was just at the start when that happened, and I still got clients in the beginning. All of us start somewhere. We don't have the rags to riches story in the beginning, so you don't need that to get started. You don't need that to attract clients. Talk about your story up to this point, and then of course you're going to add on to it as you move forward. Great. Rachel has a question here about branding, so I'm going to come back to that one. Awesome. Okay, the final two things here. So people want to know what your big why is. So we talked about purpose. It's very similar. But when I talk about big why, they also want to know the vision for the brand. So where are you going? What are you all about? Who do you want to serve? What is your ultimate purpose as a person, not just in the company? What do you stand for? What are your values? Who are you really? And it comes back to connecting with you. And so the more vulnerable you can be, the better. And people always ask me, how vulnerable should I be out of the gate? Do I need to, reveal everything in the closet? And that's not what I'm saying. You get to decide how that looks for you. It's different for everyone, but the more open you can be, the better, especially about what it is that you're all about who you are and about your big mission, why you're doing this, what really lights you up, what fuels you, and also your shortcomings. So what are the things that trip you up? And this is something that I was really scared to tell people, was that I was human and I made mistakes and that things were difficult for me sometimes. But the more honest I got on my coaching calls, in my marketing, in my emails, the more of a response I got and the more people could connect with that vulnerability. Because the truth is, people don't actually want perfect. And this was a big one for me to wrap my head around. They don't actually want perfect, especially as a coach. And sometimes as coaches, we think we need to be perfect. We think we need to have it all figured out. Now, of course, you want to be a step or 2 or 5 ahead of your ideal client, but no one expects you to be perfect. And in fact, some of those flaws and some of those things that you're still working on make you even more attractive and even more like that person that, they still look up to you, right? Because you're struggling and you're human and people can resonate with that. It makes them feel less alone. So that's what I'm talking about here. All right, 7, final one here, and then I'm going to get to your questions. Be high standard, but not perfect. Okay, so what does that mean? That means get professional photos taken. That means if you are not a designer and you don't want to use a template-based website, then hire someone to build your website so it looks beautiful, it looks presentable, and it looks clear. If you don't know how to write copy, then hire someone to help you with that. And again, this is not about making yourself wrong. This is not about beating yourself up. I see so many women come into our programs saying that they suck at writing, yet they're absolutely amazing at writing, and that's just a story they've been telling themselves for years, or maybe a teacher told you that when you were in, I don't know, high school, and it stuck with you. Please, please, please let go of that limiting belief. At least give it a try. And especially in iHeart Coaching Online, we break down, we have templates for you that show you how to create newsletters, how to create sales emails. We have example funnels. We actually have a copywriting training in the course. And so if that's one of your hangups, please, please, please do not believe that anymore. Savannah, I see you. And thank you, Angeline. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, people resonate with that so much. It's so interesting to me. And I've always loved writing, but there's plenty of things that I thought I wasn't good at either, but I at least gave them a try. So do not hold back, especially when you're telling your story. It's much better if it can come from you in the beginning of building your business. Then maybe you outsource it. But I know certain coaches who are 7, 8, 9-figure coaches, and they still write a lot of their own copy because they have that voice, that unique voice that people want to hear, and they have the stories. So do not discount yourself in terms of copy. If you haven't even given it a shot, or even if you have, especially when you get into something like our program, we teach you how to write copy and how to really feel more confident in doing so. Okay, so I lost my train of thought now. Okay, be high standard, but not perfect. So like I said, photos, copy, getting your website done, making sure that you're using something like Canva. Again, if you're not a designer, keep it really simple. And something like Squarespace, I highly recommend for new coaches because it's a template-based website. We even used that for our events page recently because we found this amazing template that we loved, and wanted to try it out, you know? So they're giving you everything that you need to make it happen. Just like we talked about in Monday's Real Truth with Love training, all about why 2018 is the best time to start. There's really no excuse for bad design because everything is free or basically free. Squarespace is like, I don't know, $20 a month to host your website there, and it's completely templated for you. It doesn't have to be a lot of money to spend to invest in a photo shoot. My first photo shoot, I think, was $400 or $500. That was a lot of money for me at the time. Don't get me wrong. But I made that money so many times over. Even one of my clients, literally 2 days ago, maybe it was yesterday, she said, "Thank you, Emily, for recommending that I get a professional photo shoot. This is the best thing I've invested in." And she said that now that she whenever she loads up her Facebook ads with her new pictures, she feels so much more confident. It's not like she's playing at this business. She feels really professional. She feels like people are going to get her because the photos really represent her and the story of her brand and what she's all about. And like I said, that confidence makes such a big difference. You will make that money back. So just remember, have a high standard brand because you need to stand out, especially with a lot of coaches being out there. Be the one who has something beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure you take all these 7 things and apply them across your brand. And then the last one, like I said, is really aiming for that high level, high caliber look and feel to your brand. So that's super important. Okay, questions. I'm going to take the live questions first, and then I have a few that some people submitted, so I'm going to read those. So Rachel says, in terms of branding, I've really struggled with not trying to appeal to everyone and really narrow down my target audience. Therefore, I've ended up with a brand I don't really relate to or feel like it's not really me. How did you create your brand ideas? A simple best. I definitely fall into the confused category. Okay, Rachel, thank you so much for your honesty. And I love that you asked this question because when I was first starting out, I didn't know how to do branding either. I didn't know what that even meant. I didn't know how to pick my colors. I didn't know, what the copy should say. And so I learned, just like everyone else does. So what I started with, I recognized that I was my ideal client, or at least, a few steps ahead of her. And so I started with what I loved. And so, my first photo shoot, like I said, I found that pink shirt. There's also a couple of photos of me eating ice cream. So that's always fun. And then when I had a photo shoot in London, we went into the Kate Spade store and took some beautiful pictures there. And, I just started with really what lit me up. So I would start there because you're exactly right. Otherwise, if you're listening to all these voices and trying to do, what you think your ideal client wants you to do, then it might end up falling flat and feel like it's not really you. So just ask yourself, how can you infuse yourself back into the brand? What would that look like? Another great question, this is a question I ask myself all the time, really regardless of the subject matter, is what would I do if I wasn't afraid? Or what would I do if it was really me? What would I do if I was guaranteed to make money? What would it look like? What would I put out there? What if I was guaranteed to be successful? So I'd ask yourself that about your brand. And really trust that the more you follow your heart with that, it will continue to develop. And you can also do some market research. So speak to the people who you really do want to work with, who that ideal client actually is, and ask them, what really resonates with you? Do you love seeing, let's just say, lifestyle, for example? Do you love seeing pictures of me in the kitchen making healthy food? I'm not sure what your company is. Do you love seeing me travel? Do you love seeing me working with clients? What would really appeal to you if you landed on my website? What images, what copy, what colors, but really you should be infused in everything that you do. I hope that helps. That's a great question. Cool. Let's see if there's any others. So I already answered the iHeart coaching question. Okay. So here's a few good ones that were submitted. So someone says, I'm using my name as my company, but my name.com is taken. I'm wondering if my name and then the word coaching.com is too long. So for example, she's saying emilywilliams.com is taken. I'm wondering if Emily Williams coaching is too long. Also trying to hone in on my story and I'm struggling a bit in what to use. Just like yours is, just a girl from Ohio with really big dreams. Did that just come to you or did you brainstorm it and how did you come up with it? Great questions. So in terms of choosing your company name, I get this question all the time. And I know it's a really big deal, but the truth is, I Heart My Life, that was never supposed to be my company name. Again, this is something I kind of stumbled upon, giving you all my secrets. So Emily Williams, in fact, was taken. It's a pretty popular name. And so I couldn't go with that. And for me, there was really no other combination that I wanted to do with that name. And then I started thinking, who is my ideal client and what I want to help her create? And I remembered so many years where I did not love my life. That's just what I kept coming back to. I was working at Starbucks and I was a nanny. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was confused, didn't have clarity. And so, I was waiting for my life to get good. That's really how I felt. And so I wanted to help the woman who felt the same as me. She maybe didn't love her life. She didn't love what she was doing. She didn't have the clarity. She felt really stuck and confused. And so the idea for I Heart My Life came to me. And at the time, iheartmylife.com was also taken, but I was in the UK, so I did iheartmylife.co.uk. And then eventually bought iheartmylife.com for like $150 or something amazing like that. And at the time, that was a big consideration for me, but I knew that I wanted the .com. And so that's how it happened for me. So I would start off, honestly, if you can get your name.com, great. At least buy it. You can always have that URL pointing to a different company name or vice versa. And if you can't think of a company name right now, please do not force it. I really believe that that's the worst thing you can do. And again, just like we talked about previously with your ideal client, you're not getting a tattoo on your face. If you need to change this for whatever reason, you can. So start with what feels really good to you right now. Don't kill yourself in the process, not literally obviously, but don't go crazy with this process because, although it's important, your messaging, who you work with, the stories you tell and the branding, I feel like that's much more important. And so in terms of this person here, I would just go with your name, coaching.com. That's very simple. You in particular, the person who submitted this, she has a name that's pretty easy to spell. That is definitely a consideration for people. But this is 2018. If people can't find your URL and you're putting your stuff out there, I just people will find it. If they're meant to find it, they will find it. If you do the marketing, if you put yourself out there, if you have multiple ways for them to find you, they will find you, right? So just focus on the mission and the purpose and less on the name. Don't get hung up on that. Second part of the question was, how did you come up with just a girl from Ohio with really big dreams? Again, this was a bit of a fluke as well. So, and when I say fluke, I actually take that back. That's not what it was. I believe that everything has been meant to happen. But it wasn't like I sat there and said, I need to think of a tagline this second. It just came organically as I went along my journey and as I told my story more and more. So I would practice telling your story, and this goes for everyone. Write down your story. And some people don't understand, where to start with their story. I'm not saying you start at the very beginning, that rainy evening you were born. I'm saying start at that point that will resonate with your ideal client. For me, I believe that everyone has their I Heart My Life story. That's what I like to call it. And so that means that you start at the turning point. So when did things start to shift? When was your big aha moment? For example, when I was driving the car from Ohio to Northwestern in Chicago to go and get my graduate degree, I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach that it wasn't the right decision for me. And so I turned the car around and went back to Ohio. And so maybe you have a turning point like that. My second turning point was when I discovered coaching. And so I talk about my story in that way with those kind of milestones. So think about what your milestone is, and that's what you share. And just know that you'll get more specific as you go along, and you'll start to see what really resonates with people as you go along and as you tell your story more and more. So I'd write it all out. And then you can even have a friend read it and see how you can condense it a little bit. So make sure you do a brain dump. Do not censor yourself at all. And then you can always take elements away as you move forward and get clearer. But I'd write a lot and then scale it back. So I hope that helps. If anyone else has other questions around that, let me know. Other question is, I have a question about choosing your brand name. Same thing. Okay. Let me just see if there is something different about this question. Yeah, what do you need to take into consideration when choosing a brand name? Will your name resonate more than a personal brand, preference, or phrase? Also, I'm in doubt about people finding my brand name cheesy or woolly because it doesn't give a clue in terms of what it stands for, coaching. Okay, so it doesn't have to tell them right in the wording that it's a coaching company. I don't think I Heart My Life does that. But I also want to be really clear. This is not meant to put pressure on you, but it's just something, it's a little nugget to think about. So I'm very clear that I Heart My Life, it's not just a coaching company, it's a movement. And I've always known that from the get-go, from when I first created it. And so it's a much bigger brand, and coaching is a part of what I do. As you may know, we also have stationery. I'm in the midst of writing a book. And so there's lots of big things in store for us, events and retreats. And so that we have a lot that's going to happen over the next few years. And so think about what the big vision is and what will really fit into that. And again, I know some of you will think that that's a lot of pressure, and I totally hear you. So if you don't know the big vision yet, please just get started with what you know now and recognize that clarity will come as you go along. But if you do know what the big vision is, start now with that in mind and think about what would feel really good to you, what would feel exciting to you. Really pay attention to your feelings. Those are big, big indicators that you're on the right track or that you're not on the right track. And again, remember, we're not getting a tattoo on your face. And so if this is not, if you don't have the clarity on the big purpose this second, that's okay. But if you do, keep that in mind when you're making all of these decisions. And if you're telling me right now you don't have a big vision or a big purpose, I would ask that you look inside and really pay attention to all of those little whispers that are calling your name, and don't discount them anymore. Whatever you want, the big dreams that you have, those are meant for you. So trust that your purpose is inside you already and you can access it. Cool, guys. Okay, so let me see if there's one more. I thought there was. Someone also said, you're in 3 programs now. What are those programs? So I work with a coach to help us build our team. I also work with a coach that helps with launching and evergreening. And then I'm also in a program that's more of a life coaching program. So those are the 3 things. Do you work much with baby boomers? I do, Alicia. We have women anywhere from in their 20s all the way up to their 60s at this point in time. So I'm open to working with anyone who has that big vision, that dream, and wants to move forward. Final question here. My question is, what do you need to think about in order to share your story in a way that will resonate with your ideal client? So that's an awesome question. I did share a lot about story already today, so you can go back and listen to the beginning of this training. But essentially, share your story from the heart. Think about those milestones. Think about those aha moments that will really resonate with your ideal client. And then just know it'll get clearer and more concise, and you'll know what milestones to hit as you go along. Cool. So I want to share something really quick on my screen. Let me close this here, the chat box. It's been awesome connecting with you guys today from Paris. Let's share my screen and pull this up. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this now. So I want to remind you that yesterday I opened up iHeart Coaching Online, which is the self-study version of our signature program, iHeart Coaching, which has helped hundreds of women create their dream coaching business and be able to leave their 9-to-5 job, do coaching full-time, be able to impact the world, work with incredible clients. And I want to give you behind the scenes of this module. So we have a few more minutes here. I'd love to share this with you really quick. So this is one of the exact modules that you will get in iHeart Coaching. So this one is called Branding and Photography. I thought this was the perfect one to show you. So as you see, this module is 85 pages long. Now don't worry, this is not 85 pages of text. This one is really fun because it's actually full of tons of photos that help you on your very first photo shoot. So we also talk about branding, we talk about my brand, what the purpose and mission of your brand is, the look and feel of your brand, people who resonate with you in terms of their brand, simple branding tips, Pinterest branding boards, your board, photo shoots. I go through all of my photo shoots and talk to you a little bit how to prepare for your shoot, how to curate your shoot, how to pick your locations. There's some photos from some of my clients in there, ready, set, shoot, what happens on the shoot day, what happens after the shoot, etc. So my photo shoot, all of those amazing things are here in this module. And I wanted to show this because this is just a really good indication of how incredible this program actually is and how we break down everything step by step in terms of what you need to do as a new coach to get clients, to stand out in the world, and to make that impact that you want to have. So yesterday I went through the entire program. So if you have any questions at all, we will put the link to the program in this thread and you can check out all the information on the program page. But it's really the program that you need if you are looking to grow your coaching business, if you're a new coach or even a coach that you've gotten started, but you know that you don't have the tools and the resources that you need to really make this happen. And it's like a guessing game where you're throwing spaghetti against the wall and you don't know what's working. This is for you. So go to iHeartCoaching.com to learn more about what we have in store for you, because up until Monday, so just 3 days from now, you can save $400 on the program. And guys, this is an absolutely incredible opportunity. This program we've sold for what have we sold it for? 6,500 plus. That's what the live program costs. We're no longer offering the live program. And right now until Monday, you can get in for only $1,597. So this is a huge opportunity, or you can move forward with 6 payments of $330. So I don't want you to miss out. Make this the year that you start your dream coaching business. Again, it comes back to those whispers. Are you being called to move forward with your business? Are you being called to serve people? Do you have a purpose and mission that you know you need to get out into the world? Because we only have this one life. So I'm coming to you live from Paris, guys. This was not always my reality. I have friends all around the world, 2 of which are here. We get to spend time with them. We're going to have some dinner beneath the Eiffel Tower, have some champagne, have some drinks, and just experience life together. That sounds super cheesy, but it's true. And this is what I always wanted to do. I'm feeling so grateful being here in this city, getting to talk to you, getting to connect, getting to share my purpose. And that's what's possible for you. There are 3 billion people online. It's only going to keep growing. So you have more than enough clients out there who need to hear what you have to say and need your message and need your unique story and your unique take on the world and on, everything that they're looking for that will really help them. So really trust that. I believe in you. If you have any questions at all about iHeart Coaching Online, you can email my team at info@iheartmylife.com. You can also post your questions below. It's a program that is completely self-study. So if you pay in full, you get access to everything right away. So you get access to a whole resource library full of tutorials, example, newsletters, sales emails, even a one-on-one coaching contract, everything you need to onboard your clients, example discovery sessions, example coaching calls that I've done with real life clients, a whole resource library full of previous group coaching calls that I did with the live version of this program. So you go deeper with your own coaching skills and you get support yourself to understand what may be holding you back. This program is really unique because it's split up into 3 different parts. So mindset, business strategy, and coaching mastery, which I feel are essential for your success. So trust me, guys, this is an incredible program, exactly what you're looking for if you want the step-by-step guide to building your coaching business online. So go to iHeartCoaching.com, check it out before Monday. I want you to save that $400. Think about what you could use that money for. It could be the money you use for your photo shoot. So I want to see that happen for you. So go to iHeartCoaching.com and please let my team know if you have any questions. I don't want you to stay on the fence. I don't want you to stay confused. Really reach out and get the support that you need. I reached out and got the support that I needed years ago. We put the investment on my husband's credit card. It was $7,500. And thank God I did, because I would not be here sitting with you today had I not done that. I wouldn't be in Paris. My life wouldn't have changed. And I want that for you too. So remember, nothing changes unless you make a change. So if today's the day, please hop into iHeart Coaching. Go to iHeartCoaching.com. Love to see you there. All right, everyone, have a beautiful rest of your day. We'll be looking at your questions and comments below and answer over the next few days. If you have any specific questions, email us at info@iheartmylife.com. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.